Ministry of Health, Dr. Philomena Okewu, said the present administration was fully committed to translating the assessment findings into meaningful improvements in lieu with the recommendations of upgrading infrastructure and equipment, improving human resources, ensuring availability of life-saving supplies, promoting facility utilization through community engagement, and driving evidence-based action.
Receiving today should not remain a set of recommendations. It must be used as a living guide for implementation. Therefore, I urge all local government authorities, facility managers, and our implementing partners to own this process and begin taking steps that reflect the realities on the ground.
In his remarks, the technical lead for maternal, newborn health, family planning, and reproductive health, Chepaigo, Nigeria, Dr. Jayeola Oyetunji, noted that maternal and newborn death was a matter of grave concern, adding that the gaps identified through the assessment carried out last year would be bridged. He said the initiative demonstrated the state government's commitment to improving healthcare services, particularly for mothers and newborns, and reiterated that at least one health facility in each local government area identified would be upgraded to provide effective healthcare delivery to the people.
The aim is to ensure that there's at least one health facility that can provide comprehensive maternal and newborn care so that mothers, women that are in labor, and the babies that they are delivering, none of them will die during childbirth. All the mothers will survive, all the babies will survive, no woman will die while giving birth to another baby.
The Director, Planning and Research Statistics in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Uche Okwe, said maternal and newborn care touched on family stability, community well-being, and the future productivity of the society, hence ensuring that every woman and newborn received the right care in the right place and at the right time.
We benefit from having to look at our challenges, gaps, and then offer solutions to ensure that these challenges and gaps are no longer there.
Also speaking, the state sector-wide approach SWAP desk officer, Dr. Oyawiri Agogo, said the challenges facing the health facilities are being addressed and encouraged the populace not to lose hope in the services of public health facilities. The workshop featured comprehensive deliberations of reports, as well as the unveiling of the results and summary of the Bill of Quantities BOQ assessments from the selected facilities across the 25 local government areas in Delta State. Mora Isupa reporting.
The Federal Executive Council FEC has deliberated extensively on the high cost of medical drugs in the country and resolved to review factors making them unaffordable for the average Nigerian. Briefing newsmen at the end of the meeting, presided over by President Bola Tinubu at the Council chambers in the State House, Abuja, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, said the Council approved the establishment of Medipool for competitive pricing and supply of essential medicines across the country. The minister also disclosed that FEC gave its approval for the procurement and installation of a 2.3 billion naira cardiac catheterization machine for Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital in Sokoto. The machine, when installed, would help the hospital provide diagnosis and treatment for heart and blood vessel patients. The Ministry of Information, Mr. Mohammed Idris, has confirmed that Nigeria has fully repaid the $3.4 billion COVID-19 loan from International Monetary Fund. Mr. Idris stated this while briefing State House correspondents after the 6th Federal Executive Council meeting. The minister explained that a loan was taken during the COVID-19 period before the current administration, but President Bola Tinubu viewed the government as a continuum and directed that the country exit the debt. Mr. Idris said that the move demonstrated Nigeria's seriousness and capacity to meet its debt obligations, signaling the domestic and international investors that Nigeria was responsible for managing its finances. He noted that FEC had directed the Bureau for Public Procurement to communicate the new procurement threshold for goods and services to ministries, departments, and agencies, adding that a threshold had been in place for a long time and contributed to the number of approvals required from the council. The minister also stated that the council had directed all MDAs, especially the Ministry of Works, to collaborate more with the private sector on infrastructure development. The chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), Dr. Musa Aliyu, has reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to enhancing international cooperation in the fight against organized immigration crime through a deepening partnership with the British Home Office. He made the reaffirmation when a high-level delegation from the British Home Office International Operations Team paid a courtesy visit to the ICPC headquarters in Abuja. The chairman, Dr. Musa Aliyu, represented by the Secretary of the Commission, Mr. Clifford Obarodu, emphasized that the Commission remained open to meaningful and strategic partnerships to combat all forms of corrupt practices, including transnational crimes such as immigration-related offenses. Mr. Aliyu reiterated the ICPC's willingness to contribute its institutional expertise and investigative tools to support ongoing efforts under the framework of the Organized Immigration Crime Unit, OICU. He also stressed the Commission's readiness to offer digital forensic support, particularly in the extraction and analysis of electronic evidence from digital services, which is crucial in complex cross-border investigations. The unit, Mr. Oakley explained, that a collaborative initiative of the unit will experience investigators and prosecutors from both Nigeria and United Kingdom to jointly combat organized immigration crimes. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has reiterated its commitment to ensuring that corps members make significant contributions to the host communities throughout their service year. Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Olalekun Nafiu, said that this during the closing ceremony of the 2025 Batch A Stream 1 orientation course held in Bauchi. Brigadier General Nafiu, represented by the NYSC Bauchi State Coordinator, Mr. Rifskatu Yakubu, commended the corps members for demonstrating patriotism, discipline, loyalty, and maturity during their 3-week orientation, noting that such qualities are essentials for a successful service year. He urged the corps members to be diligent, loyal, and adaptable as they proceed to the next phase of their service. A total of 1,600 corps members have been deployed across the state for the 1-year national service. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) has launched an investigation into alleged technical glitches during the conduct of this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). To successfully conduct the investigation, the board said it had engaged the services of vice chancellors and IT experts from the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, chief external examiners, among others, to determine the root cause and ensure that the affected candidate received appropriate remedies if any errors were confirmed. The JAM's Public Communication Advisor, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, announced this in a statement in Abuja. In the statement titled Republic Compliance regarding the release of the 2025 UTME, the board said it was expediting action on its annual system review, a comprehensive post-mortem of the examination process, typically conducted months after the exercise. According to JAM, the review would cover 3 key stages, comprising registration, examination, and result release in the investigation. The examination body said it was particularly concerned about unusual compliance from a few states, thereby currently scrutinizing these issues in detail to identify and resolve any technical faults. Also, thousands of candidates who scored below 200 in this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) have petitioned the board's registrar over the high failure rate in the examination. The aggrieved candidate petitioned the JAM registrar through their solicitors John C. Nwobodo and MC Abo, and copied the Senate President, the Minister of Education, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, expressing misgivings over the results of the examination. The Forward Operating Base (FOB) Escravos of the Nigerian Navy says it has deactivated 6 illegal refining sites at Obodo or Madina Community, Warri South local government area of Delta State. The commanding officer FOB Escravos Navy Captain Ikenna Okolago disclosed this to newsmen in Warri, Delta State. Captain Okolago said the illegal refineries site were deactivated in 3 separate operations following credible information. He said the successful operations, guided by actionable intelligence, were conducted as part of Operation Delta Sanity 2, adding that the exercise was in line with strategic directives of the Chief of Naval Staff (CNS) Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala in eradicating all forms of illegality in the nation's territorial waters. Captain Okolago said that cumulatively, the 3 operations led to the activation of 6 illegal refining sites, adding that approximately 8,660 liters of stolen crude oil and 1,005 liters of illegally refined AGO were seized in the operations. The commanding officer said the products were stored in 3 ovens, 28 dugout pits, and 14 polythene sacks. Captain Okolago, who warned perpetrators to desist from the illegalities, however, reaffirmed the base's commitment to frustrating the activities of economic saboteurs. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) has said the collision between an Antelope and Air Peace aircraft in Asaba Airport was not under its management. The FAN Director, Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mrs. Obiageli Ora, made the clarification via FAN official X account. Mrs. Ora frowned at some media report that erroneously claimed that the incident had occurred at the Abuja airport. FAN urged the public and media outlets to verify information through official channels to prevent the spread of misinformation. The director, on behalf of FAN, sympathized with the parties involved in the collision. An Air Peace aircraft was grounded on Sunday at the Asaba International Airport in Delta State after it collided with an Antelope while taxiing on the runway. You're watching the Delta Television main news. Still to come, World Bank projects decline in Nigeria's inflation rate. Details on this story and more after this short break. Please stay with us.
If tanker wey carry fuel fall or pipe wey carry fuel for underground burst, wetin you go do? You go begin bail fuel put for your bucket, or you go run comot far far for where the fire go soon come. Na only small time you get to take this wise decision. Waka comot, no, that one no dey enough. Shift, no, that one no dey enough. Stay there dey gist and take pictures with your phone. That na madness. Run, yes, run comot. Yes, your life depend on wetin you do. The fire go come at once and you no go fit control am. Why? Petrol dey catch fire easily. Why? Na just small spark go start big fire. So no stay there dey think. Run comot quick to save your life. No throway your life away because of say you wan pack petrol. Take this advice. This informate na from Public Enlightenment Office, Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba.
You're welcome back. You're watching the Delta Television main news. Over now to our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
The World Bank has projected that Nigeria's inflation rate will have reached 22.1% this year, attributing the anticipated decline to the Central Bank of Nigeria's tight monetary stance aimed at restoring price stability and anchoring inflation expectations. The projection was contained in a statement published yesterday on the World Bank's website following the formal launch of the latest edition of the Nigerian Development Update report in Abuja. The biannual report titled Building Momentum for Inclusive Growth assesses recent economic trends and policy responses and outlines priorities for sustaining reforms and promoting inclusive growth. According to the report, while macroeconomic indicators have improved significantly, particularly GDP growth, revenue mobilization, and fiscal consolidation, headline inflation remains a pressing concern. Meanwhile, according to the latest edition of the World Bank's Nigerian Development Update report titled Building Momentum for Inclusive Growth, Nigeria's macroeconomic reforms have begun to yield results, strengthening the foreign exchange market and boosting government revenue to an estimated 31.9 trillion naira last year. The report released yesterday highlights that the consolidated fiscal position improved considerably last year, with the fiscal deficit shrinking from 5.4% of GDP in 2023 to 3.0% of GDP in 2024. This progress was largely driven by surge in government revenues, which jumped from 16.1 trillion naira in 2023 to 31.9 trillion naira in 2024. The World Bank credited these gains to ongoing macroeconomic and structural reforms, particularly in the foreign exchange and fiscal policy space. It noted that the improvements have helped to stabilize the economy, restore investor confidence, and lay the groundwork for broader development investments.
And away from business, President Bola Tinubu, former President Goodluck Jonathan, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Governor Sheriff Boriwori and his wife Tobore were among the dignitaries who paid tribute to the late elder statesman, Chief Edwin Kabodo Clark. Ejime Udweme reports. We'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. The funeral service was held at the St. Paul's Anglican Church, Kabodo, in Burutu local government area of Delta State. Other dignitaries in attendance included Governors Doyo Diri Bayelsa, Umo Eno Akwa Ibom, and Bala Mohammed Bauchi State. Also present were the Deputy Governor of the state, Samondo Oyeme, and his wife, Ezinne Catherine, former Governors Ifeanyi Okowa, Senator Henry Sariake Dixon, and Chief Rufus Ada George, and the Minister of Regional Development, Engineer Abubakar Momo, among others. President Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Agukume, expressed sadness over the passing of the nationalist, elder statesman, and respected elder of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF. He extended his heartfelt condolences to the Clark family, the Ijaw Nation, Delta State, and the nation at large. He said, Pa Clark was a passionate advocate for resource control, economic and social justice. Former President Goodluck Jonathan described Pa Clark as a great nationalist who lived in full validation of human dignity. He said he was a staunch advocate for freedom and national pride. Dr. Jonathan said till the end he bore the burden of the marginalized and the less privileged in the Niger Delta and across Nigeria. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said Pa Clark was a pan-Nigerian and pan-African who fought for all, including the minorities. Governor Sheriff Oboriwori described Pa Clark as fearless, vocal, bold, assertive, and unrelenting in speaking truth to power. He said Pa Clark never remained silent in the face of abuse of power, corruption, or injustice. The governor advocated for unity among the people of the Nigerian Delta region for the accelerated transformation of the area. Earlier, the Most Reverend Cyril Odutemu, Archbishop of the Bendel Province Anglican Communion, delivered a homily tagged, "A good name is better than riches." He lauded Pa Clark's virtues, calling him a champion of integrity and a man of impeccable character. He reminded Nigerians that a good name was more valuable than material wealth. In an interview, the Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Aniago, Senator Eddie Dafinone, Senator James Manager, Chief Fred Majemite, and others, said Chief Clark was an extraordinary being that used his life to serve humanity and urged his children to uphold his enviable legacies. They called on the people of the Nigerian Niger Delta to shun anything capable of jeopardizing the collective good of the area. The remains of late Pa Clark, who died at 97, was later conveyed in a motorcade to his residence for interment. In a farewell message to the departed elder statesman, who was laid to rest today, Director General of the Delta State Orientation and Communications Bureau, Dr. Fred Latimer Ogenesiwe, has described the late Pa Edwin Clark as a man who embodied courage and conviction. Dr. Ogenesiwe said the Clark's pioneering work in co-founding Power Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, a platform that amplified the voices of the Niger Delta region, showcased his unwavering commitment to the development and socio-economic empowerment of his people. The Bureau Chief noted that through his tireless and consistent advocacy, Pa Clark left an indelible mark on Nigerian history, championing the cause of equity, justice, and good conscience, adding that his legacy as a champion of the Niger Delta and Ijaw Nation will forever inspire generations to come. And now to sport. Nottingham Forest striker Taiwo Awodiyi underwent surgery for an abdominal injury yesterday he got after clattered into a post during the 2-2 Premier League draw with Leicester City. Substitute Awodiyi rejoined the game after receiving treatment, but was limping around for the last 10 minutes. The club have yet to respond to a request for comments outside regular business hours in Britain. Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis expressed frustration over Awoniyi not being substituted, while manager Nuri Espirito Santo said the Nigeria international was left on due to misunderstanding between the coaching and the medical department. Now to a thought for the day. You do not have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Absolutely. To end the Delta television menus, here are the highlights. The wife of the state governor and founder Humata Charity Foundation, Deaconess Tobare Oborewori, has been appointed as a net ambassador for this year's insecticide-treated net, INT's campaign for a malaria-free state. The State Ministry of Health and the State Primary Health Care Development Agency, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and the Society for Family Health, performed the investiture aimed at creating awareness across the state. The Federal Executive Council FEC has deliberated extensively on the high cost of medical drugs in the country and resolved to review factors making them unaffordable for the average Nigerian. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, has launched an investigation into alleged technical glitches during the conduct of this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. And finally, the World Bank has projected that Nigeria's inflation rate will average 22.1% in 2025, attributing the anticipated decline to the Central Bank of Nigeria's tight monetary stance aimed at restoring price stability and anchoring inflation expectations. And that's our package for tonight. On behalf of the production team, I am Tony Iluaka. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.
Thank you.